jobless, remember? What's he going to do now? And me, on Sunday afternoons? I'm going to miss you guys. Thanks a lot for a great amount of good music and fun.
Listen, let's be honest, we could probably get fans of this show together most Sunday afternoons in my lounge. We could just listen to some new music, take a sideways look at the papers. Any more correspondence? There's been some nice and sweet emails and texts coming.
Well, yeah, you know, you make light of it, Steve, but, you know, maybe people have fallen down a well, they've been trying to call the emergency services, they're getting network busy because of all the texts that are coming in.
Of course.
The internet's ground to a halt, people on eBay trying to buy like a Killer's 7-inch or a huge box of Johnny's, but the internet just stops because of all the email traffic coming through. It's been incredible. Erin in Portland, Oregon, she listens, she gets up 7:30 in the morning almost every Sunday to listen. Favourite moments include Sammy's haircut.
Oh, great
Video
days.
still available on the website. Rufus's posh advice. And when Steve brings in ridiculous clothing that he purchased on holiday, e.g. The hat and the wizard's wedding costume.
It wasn't a wizard's wedding costume. It was a traditional piece of Indian garb. I find that racialist. Actually, Rufus, how does a gentleman act in this? If a gentleman is presenting or receiving bad news, how does one operate? What's the best way to do it?
Gosh, that's a tough one. Being the harbinger of bad news? Or
Yeah. How would you sort of break? Let's say you have to fire me. You know, I work on the estate.
Yeah.
And I was caught having a swig of sherry at Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, in the kitchen, and you caught me, and you gave me, you know, obviously you were about to beat me to within an inch of my life. How do you go about?
I would stay my hand. The first thing I would do is stay my hand from the sure beating that you've deserved, and then I'd probably employ the old-fashioned technique of the praise sandwich.
Yeah.
You familiar with the praise sandwich?
No, I don't know that.
The praise sandwich is, I need to fire Steve. I'm going to bring Steve into my office and go, Steve, listen, I've been listening to the show the last couple of weeks. It's terrific, better than ever. You fired. Nice hair. Something like that.
Praise sandwich. That's what I should have used for the listeners earlier. I should have bracketed, you know, Simon Pegg on the phone. We're leaving. Get over it. Deal. Cash your tone for the Painfully Alone in the hub as well very soon. Once again, I learn so much from you every week, and no longer will we be able to do that. I'm afraid I am terminating all of our friendships along with the radio show. You'll find me having a secret radio show on another rival station with 3 other lackeys.
Yeah, I can imagine.
We'll start some kind of blog to slag you off.
Let's dip, if we could, into the vast collection of cover songs which I have accumulated over the last 2 years. And this was one that charmed me, from a woman called Laura Cortese, or Cortese. She did a version of The Cure's Just Like Heaven, and for some reason, I think it was on an album that she put out years ago, but for some reason it found its way into my pigeonhole. And it charmed me. Harry, let's hear the jingle for the last time.
Mr. Cover.
Cortese and her version of Just Like Heaven by The Cure, of course. We've moved into the hub, where we welcome Cassio Tone for the Painfully Alone. A round of applause for these boys. They did not have to come in. They are from America, our penultimate programme. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks so much for having us.
It's a real thrill. I've been a fan of your stuff for a while, and we've probably not played enough on the show in the past, which is my own fault, so I apologise.
It's quite alright. We're really happy to be here.
Thank you very much indeed. Now, you're over here playing some live shows.
Yeah. Actual demonstrations of our music. We're going to be at the Luminaire for the next 2 nights.
Now, when you first began, for people who've not heard your stuff, and you're going to do something for us in a minute, obviously you began in a sense with kind of quite sort of basic keyboards and stuff.
Basically,
is that right?
with that, and it's sort of built.
I think I had that exact keyboard when I was a kid, because well, if it's the same one, I had a demo setting where I could it would play "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go" by Wham.
That's a different one.
Is that a different one?
Yeah.
Because sometimes I would try and invite people around the house, and then I'll just popping upstairs, and then I would have that on its demo setting, and it would appear that I was playing "Wake Me Up Before You Go Go" brilliantly in order to impress the ladies. And then, of course, once my hands were removed, the illusion was shattered, and they fled off into the night, as is so often the way. But so it's from the same sort of same.
I think
market.
same school. Yeah. This one has the feature of a sampler where you can make a dog bark and then play "Wake Me Up"
in a dog's bark.
Yeah, like jingle dogs.
So you were never really, or you didn't aspire to be a musician particularly then? You were just sort of doodling around and sort of making music for your own amusement?
I like the idea of having a band and getting a bunch of dudes together and like playing guitars, and never seemed to be able to organize rehearsals very well. So started recording songs on a little keyboard that I actually borrowed from my brother Gordon, who's here, and he never got it back.
Right.
It's been a weird series of coincidences and really supportive friends that have sort of pushed me towards it. But I really enjoy it.
And so when you first began recording, it was just yourself in your sort of bedroom
Yeah.
putting everything together, and then you sort of built the band around you as you've become...
Yeah, adding more people has been a much more sort of recent thing. But yeah, it's, I think, going on 11 years I've been recording songs.
So when you first sort of went on tour and stuff, was it just you on your own and your
Just
kit bag
me
and-
and a couple of suitcases full of keyboards, yeah.
Really, and that must have been kind of lonely and...
Well, it was actually my first tour in the UK was just on the National Express bus.
Right,
And
jeez.
just really hoping the promoters would show up at the station to help me carry my things.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just dragging them through another northern town.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, listen, are you going to play something for us straight away so that people get a sense of what you're all about?
Yeah, we're going to play 2 very short songs from our new album now.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Great.
And the song is called Optimist versus the Silent Alarm, and it's about bank robbery, as are most of the songs on the new album. That's it.
Round of applause for Cassia Tone for the Pain-Free Loan. Sound fantastic, guys. Thank you so much. I feel kind of bad that we've been talking to you, Owen, but you ought to introduce the rest of the band Elvis style, if you would.
Absolutely. My brother Gordon Ashworth is playing the piano. Tyson Thurston is playing the bass, and the drummer is Nick Tamburo.
Now, am I right? I read somewhere, I think, that you were a film student and you
Yes.
sort of dropped out. Is that right?
Yeah.
Because there's something very filmic about your music. I mean, although it's, feels in a way kind of sort of like it's, at times been made in the bedroom, nothing wrong with that. But there's something sort of very, I always feel that it could be a sort of low-budget American indie movie about, sort of passions in a sort of snowy Midwest town. Is that sort of something that you aim for?
Yeah, I absolutely started writing songs sort of as a frustrated filmmaker. But yeah, I think that like character and location are always really important aspects of the writing.
And they're often sort of little portraits almost of, kind of unnamed individuals.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I realized a long time ago that I didn't have the patience or the sense of compromise to make movies or the budget.
Yeah, right.
But so yeah, I sort of fell into music, but I think film is still a really important part of what I do.
And so I know it's always a kind of difficult question to answer, but who are your sort of influences? Because it's not sort of music that you would instantly think of having kind of precedence.
That's a good question. I think that there are a lot of writers and filmmakers that are like as much of an influence as musicians. Like the writer Raymond Carver, I'm really crazy about. I just think the economy of his language was super inspiring.
And he often does kind of vignettes again and sort of portraits of people and events. Yeah,
absolutely. And there's a filmmaker named Terrence Malick who I think about a lot when I'm writing.
He only ever really made 3 films, is that right?
He's at 4 now, and there's a 5th on the way.
Okay.
Which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, he made Badlands, Days of Heaven, and then sort of didn't make anything for 25 years and sort of lived in Paris teaching or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Then he made Thin Red Line, and what was the last one? The New World. Yeah, he's great. I don't know, the fact he's really like camera shy, which is something I've always been kind of respectful of, I guess, people who do big celebrity things but are kind of somewhat anonymous. But I don't know. I think that there's a big hermit influence in what I like to do. But for music, there's a ton of music. There's a lot of hip hop I really like. My parents listen to a lot of. There's this radio program in the States called Prairie Home Companion, the Garrison Keillor program, and so every weekend we listen to that. And there's a lot of like bluegrass and country, and like storytelling is a really important part of that. So I think that was a big influence too.
Now I've noticed on a couple of the EPs and things you've put out that you've done some Bruce Springsteen cover versions.
Yes, yeah. Actually, Gordon and I recorded 2 Bruce Springsteen songs together. Sort of as I guess like a tribute to our folks.
Yeah.
Our dad had that big Bruce Springsteen like live box set when we were kids, and we'd go on car trips and like hear that endlessly, and like knew where all the skips in the record were that ended up on the tape. We recorded Streets of Philadelphia and Born in the USA, and we're going to play one of those.
Brilliant, that's fantastic.
So actually, I don't think I have any vocals in my monitor. I don't know what happened to that.
There's no vocals in his monitor. I resign from this program to teach you people a lesson. Do you want me to get that sorted? Should we play something else? Would you like to
I think there it is. I think we're okay. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty hardcore. You've got some serious monitor action
You're
there.
getting a lot of it in your cans.
I am. Is everyone happy? Because
right?
I don't know anything about the technical side of it. I don't know anything about broadcasting either, but never mind. So you're all set?
Ready?
You're
Yeah.
good?
So
Okay,
this
great.
is the song Streets of Philadelphia from the film Philadelphia. Are you going to start it, Gordon?
Come on. Painfully Alone doing Streets of Philadelphia by The Boss. I've spent 2 years being evangelical about Bruce Springsteen, and these heathens have yet to realise just how brilliant the great man is. Can you change them? Can you persuade them?
If that song didn't do it, I don't know what.
You mean specifically your version of it?
Exactly.
Tremendous arrogance. Tremendous arrogance. Listen, the new album is called Versus Children.
Yes.
Do you loathe children as much as I?
The jury's out. Yeah.
The jury's out, although your album's called Versus Children.
Yeah. Well, I'm working on it. Yeah.
Sure. And it's absolutely tremendous as always. You're also performing 2 shows tonight and tomorrow at the Luminaire.
Yeah, I think there are just a few tickets left for tonight, and tomorrow is sold out. So tonight would be the one to try for.
Okay, great. And that's it. There, we're not going to see you anywhere else in the country.
We're going to play at all tomorrow's parties in a few weeks.
Okay.
On the Friday.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you so much, guys, for coming in, and I'm so pleased we were able to have you here before the show finished. So, again, big round of applause, please,
Thank you very much.
for the Painfully Alone. From the debut album released June last year, Fleet Foxes and Mykonos on the penultimate Steve show. So, Painfully Alone, Cassie Jones, Painfully Alone, fantastic. Did their version there of Streets of Philadelphia, also brilliant. Have, in the last 2 years, have I won you round to my calls on The Boss? You have always been ambivalent, Hare.
Yeah, well, I enjoyed the Sega session, so we saw him around that time, and that was great in a little venue with a big band. I then went to see him at the O2 just after Magic came out, and was bored senseless.
Oh. Do you know what you are? You're a plonker.
I still think I probably need to spend a lot of time alone with the old albums, which I now, of course, have plenty of time to do so.
Absolutely. Good, you've got nothing else.
I need to spend a day, Steve, working with my hands.
Getting all oily.
That's what I need to do. I don't do enough of that, as you know.
I think it's because you're not a blue-collar Joe, are you?
It's not.
You never will be.
Today I'm wearing a little bit of blue on my collar, but I've got to admit it's mixed up with white in a gingham pattern.
Of course, exactly.
And when you wear blue and white gingham, you're not a man of, you're never going to get Bruce.
If that was more of a heavy workman-like check,
then
I could imagine you
worn
have
through at the collar
exactly
with oil under the fingernails.
Yeah.
I think after a day of doing heavy manual labour, if I came home and stuck on Working on a Dream, one of Bruce's recent tracks, I might get it. And I do love Thunder Road, and I love some of the songs that you've played to me, but I still don't get it.
The screen door slams, Mary's dress waves. Yes, and Sammy, you've never been a fan.
I don't think I ever will.
It's because you've got no soul or heart.
Probably is what it is, but that was an amazing cover.
Fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that you've overlooked Cassie Tone for the Painfully Alone. You must have all the albums, surely.
No, but you recommended them to me, so that's another thing I have to thank you for on the list of many.
I have achieved so much for you in these last 2 years. We will talk about the past and the future after more music, and more music follows this trail. BBC 6 Music.
Sunday night from 10. Join Elbow frontman and Brit Award winner Guy Garvey for his finest hour.
I'm very over-enthusiastic about things to the point where I have to make it an absolute from time to time.
I am a passenger.
It's nothing if not direct and honest. Just something of such beauty, heartbreaking beauty.
Would have kept you free from harm.
Guy Garvey's finest hour. Tonight from 10.
So yeah, pass it on. It's important stuff.
BBC 6
Music.
Lovely.
What's been your happiest memory, Sammy, of these last 2 years?
Obviously I have to say last Saturday. It was literally amazing.
When I was a dream maker.
When you literally made my dreams come true. I was sat in the hub just there, crying at that thought. Because
Really?
at the time it didn't seem real, and then I was remembering it and really enjoying the memory.
We should point out that Sammy and I weren't alone in the hub at that occasion. We were there watching Gomez performing for us last week.
Man alive. That was, yeah, that's the best.